To be honest, I don't watch much television. There's so much that I can find on the internet and on YouTube, and I can decide what I want to watch. But to sit there and just mindlessly watch television is not something that I derive a lot of joy from. But I guess a lot of people do. I was walking through the house, so I passed by a television that was on, and on television was a person of high political stature talking about how diverse we are as a nation, and the tone of her voice suggested that this was something to celebrate. And that got me thinking a little bit, and I wanted to share just some thoughts with you about diversity and, why should we celebrate diversity, or even should we? So I got thinking about other diverse things, and it seems like any complicated system is going to have very diverse components in it. Let's look at a couple of common examples. We all drive cars, and I think we all know the benefit and the usefulness of cars, but think about what makes up a car is a lot of diverse components. A spark plug bears no resemblance whatsoever to the steering wheel, which bears no resemblance whatsoever to the brakes, and bears no you get the idea. There's a lot of different parts. There are thousands and thousands of parts that bear little resemblance to one another. Yet we get in our cars and trucks every day and drive them. Well, each one of those parts was designed to fulfill a specific role within a larger idea called get us from point A to point B. So each of those parts, while they are diverse, they are dissimilar, the goal of those parts is to be a part of a working automobile. So a complicated system, an automobile, is actually just an assembly of much smaller and simpler subsystems. Now, when we drive in our cars, you may notice we all have a human body. And there are a lot of diverse parts. In fact, I am amazed. I am utterly amazed at the genius engineering of the human body. I won't go into too many examples, but one of the unique things humans have as compared to lower animals is an opposing thumb. This allows us to build and use tools that we use to control our environment and protect us. That's why we eat other animals and they don't eat us. We're kind of at the top of the food chain. Now, but the human body is made up of a very complex system of pulleys and levers and muscles and nerves and things like this, but they're very different, yet they all work together to sustain life. So we can get in our complicated automobiles that are put together with complicated parts, all working toward the goal of getting this human body from point A to point B. Does a finger have any resemblance to a foot? How about to a kidney? How about to an ear? How about to an eyeball? Clearly, these parts are very diverse, very different, yet they are all fulfilling a role in a much more simple task called the human body, a complicated system of smaller parts. So is diversity something to celebrate? Well, I can, here's a diverse part. Here's a remote control. Here's a coffee cup. Here's a pair of nail clippers, and here's a cell phone. Very diverse. But what do they have to do with one another? Absolutely nothing. So should we celebrate diversity for diversity's sake? I think not. I think we should, however, celebrate diversity when the diversity all has a common goal and a common purpose. And I'm not the first one to think about this. In fact, it was thought of thousands of years ago. If you look in the Bible has a lot to say about diversity, but it is always within the context of a common goal. Nothing's changed. And it says that we should celebrate our diversity. We should not put down things that are different. It says that the body is made of several parts, but one is not more important than the other. They all serve a common purpose. It even says, and I'll put those scripture references in the description of this video, that we should welcome people that are different, but not to argue over opinions. not to argue over opinions. What that says is that we should not argue over opinions. But what does it not say? It doesn't say we shouldn't argue over the facts. If someone is factually wrong, well, of course we should proclaim the truth and show them the truth and hope that they would accept it as the truth. So when we start characterizing certain groups of people as diverse, when we characterize certain groups of people as intolerant, I think we need to reevaluate that and back up a step and say, is their diversity worthwhile in achieving a common goal, or are they simply diverse? If they are not diverse, does that mean they are intolerant? Does that mean they are lacking in substance? Maybe our opinions should be guided. Our evaluation should be guided within the context of the scriptural directive that our diversity needs to be focused on a unifying fact, and that unifying fact in the scripture is Jesus Christ. And I hope you'll consider that as you walk day to day.